buildings, most of it's just held together with Band-Aids, hope and love.
Duct tape and bubble gum.
Yeah,
There you go.
and the hard work of Lance.
And the hard work of life. Thank you, Lance.
Well, I wish that we had something about a maintenance contract that was, will they do the maintenance, or will they only do an installation? Do they do
Midwest-
service?
Midwest
That's our
Automatic
current
Doors
service, right?
does do maintenance on
Okay.
this type of door. And they are actually the local warranty
Our guys.
service provider for this particular distributor.
Okay.
That's helpful. So they're clearly familiar with it.
Well, I don't want to see anybody get hurt, so I move that we accept the proposal from Midwest Automatic Door Company. And I also think we should include the heated curtain. So the total amount, therefore, is $23,164.
That's right. All right. Do we have a second then?
Second.
Thank you. All right, and that's voice vote.
Oh, yes, Carl,
Yes.
Crystal,
Yes.
Sharon,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Jason,
Yeah.
Pat.
Yes.
I know.
And
Every
it is
time.
approved. Thank you. Thank you. Our patrons will thank us eventually. I'm sure.
Generous read of that.
When she's taking the wheelchair.
All right, yes, right. Okay, then we move on to, Addenda.
Yeah, the strategic plan,
The strategic, right.
2016 and beyond takes up the majority of your first packet. We did add the addenda that the board had requested at the last meeting. That being said, Pat and I had a long conversation the other day about some additional information explaining those addenda and just talking about the plans moving forward and how the board has implemented those and our situation. So there's some additional information I'd like to put in the introduction. So if you do not mind, we can table that, and then I will put the introduction only in your next packet, and it should, barring anyone else's inclusion of more things for the introduction or the body of the information, it should be ready for approval in July.
Okay, so we're gonna discuss what we have now, and then just discuss the introduction next one. That sounds easier.
And the additional appendices are those that deal with, we added in the long-range budget plan, the tier 2 and 3 project summary, and the building engineering review. So, actually, it was F and G. The engineering review was already there.
Yes.
So it was the 2 additional appendices that talk about how we implemented the building engineering review and what was done in order to plan to get those immediate need projects and short-term need projects addressed prior to going to referendum.
That's good to include.
Now, for example, on Appendix F, which was approved April 25th, 2013, as we look at reading it and the specifics of it, it is a plan. But in terms of a book, for example, that was written with material in it dated X, many times in the introduction, we at least give an update of where some of that has been fulfilled, or where some of that would not be in the same manner projected today when we're reading it. And so as such, then it would not be a different version, in a sense, than what we will be providing to the community of where we are now, but maybe explain the transition from 2013 through now and into 2017.
Speaking in particular about how the various projections for revenue, et cetera, panned out and how those were implemented.
Mhm.
I mean, for example, we had about 59. Who would have predicted that the state, IDOT, was going to want part of that land if we would get money for it? But that happened to help put into balance what our revenue needs were at that time.
Mhm.
And
Right.
so, you know, many times, when we look at how did we survive through this, and survive by keeping in the black, I mean, I think it's in that fashion that we look at these are the things that have occurred.
Well, and it's important to note too that that's not gonna happen again.
Pardon? I did.
You did?
Mm.
Is that a motion?
Hmm?
I think that we should table the strategic plan until we're completed with maybe the introduction that Julie will take a look at providing. So I so move.
Guess I can second that.
Okay. All in favor?
As long as you don't put the engineering,
Or is there something
More
you want to
discussion?
discuss this evening?
No, it's fine.
as long as you don't put the engineering one in again, I don't need to read that a third time.
I
Right.
promise not to put the
Right.
whole engineering review in the packet again. No more killed trees.
All right.
No more pictures.
So,
No more pictures,
Right.
no more ugly pictures.
all in favor of tabling until next month?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Carries. Thank you. Item next, new business. We have a proposal for PC purchase.
Yes.
Tell us about this purchase.
The purchase that I almost forgot to do this year. Thank you, Lisa, for reminding me that according to our technology plan, we buy new PCs every year, and we always budget for it. We had just gotten so wrapped up in all of the expansion planning things that I had neglected to put this actually on the agenda. And Lisa said, aren't we buying new computers? Oh, yeah. So, you have the proposal for the 17 new computers. This is part of our regular upgrade schedule. This will get a whole generation of computers that will be phased out, and as usual, we will phase those into the highest use, and then the computers that are a little bit older will be phased into lesser uses like public catalogs, etc. The quote that we are recommending is 327829, which are all-in-one PCs that stand up. So it's an all-in-one unit that's
Right.
freestanding. We are looking at, in the future, converting from desktops possibly to laptops for space considerations, but that would happen with the next round. These will primarily go for staff uses, though some will be public.
Okay.
The amount for those 17 computers is $14,602.66 because they only put it down as a single unit. I don't know why they did that.
All right, and I'm sorry, this is which of the three?
The
I'm
first
not
one.
Finding the number. Okay, there we go.
No, first one, it's up here at the
There
top.
it is. Document, I was looking at. item
It's
number.
up in the upper right, the document number.
Gotcha. And so that, I'm sorry, that was 13.
$14,602.66. It's a good thing I remember this. I looked at it, I know.
All right. So the difference in the other quotes,
Yeah, those are some smaller PCs. One of them is, one's a smaller all-in-one. One is the freestanding tower. We're always, as you know, trying to balance space,
right?
even when it comes to the space on a desktop.
Sure. Well, especially because so many of them are shared,
Yes.
and therefore
We need
doubling up
more.
on that shared space.
Yeah.
Does this then allow for some trickle down in terms of PCs that will come off desks into public use?
Yes, yes. And that's our,
So we're getting
that's our
continued duty out of
normal,
that.
yes, that's our normal, technology plan, highest use and on down the road. And, we do try to keep at least 1 to 2 spare computers available,
Mhm.
particularly for some of the heaviest staff use, i.e. the circulation desk, so that should any PC up there go down, we have one that can go in its place.
So are we gonna get any more, or are we just gonna
No,
replace
this is
this?
just, this is simply replacements.
Okay. Other questions? And I would entertain a motion for approval.
Well, I guess I'm the one who's giving away all the money, so I move that we spend, I wrote it down up here,
Okay.
just in case. I move that we purchase the computers as presented for a total of $14,602.66.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Julie, roll call.
Where are we gonna go this time? Jason?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sharon? Yes. Crystal?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes,
And Pat?
Yes.
Yay.
thank you. Thank you. And our staff, I'm sure, thanks us. And the public who will receive the benefit of the
More.
rolling down
Yeah.
effect. All right, second item of new business, the prevailing wage ordinance. What do we know?
Required
We
by law.
still have one
and-
for now,
Required
right?
by law annually. Time for the update. Yay.
Regardless, though, if there are other contractors that we utilize in this same time period, would they also be required to follow the prevailing wage?
Oh, absolutely, and that, the prevailing wage ordinance that was passed last year is in effect till June 30th of this year. This prevailing wage ordinance goes from July 1 through June 30 of 2016. So this is the next fiscal year. All of the trades named in the prevailing wage ordinance are mandated that they abide by prevailing wage, and every time we send out a construction contract for bid for any of those kinds of trades, they are required to
Follow that.
follow prevailing wage.
Although hasn't there been some discussion about adjustment of that? And in
On
that
this,
case,
on the state level,
Yes.
and they have not made any changes so far, but
Right.
that does not mean that the legislature won't make some changes in the future. However, today, the law says we
We
have
need
to
this, right.
annually have prevailing wage.
but potentially could become null if they were to change the statute.
Yes.
Okay, so in order to be in compliance with the law as currently written,
I move we adopt the ordinance number 2015-2.
Second.
great, thank you.
And it gets to be roll call.
And this one is roll call again, it's an ordinance.
We'll start over there. Crystal?
Yes.
Sharon?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Jason?
Aye.
Pat?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes. Excellent, just moving along. And we have more new business, the working budget. Fiscal 16.
Has all of you had an opportunity to look at the working budget as presented with the items highlighted where there was a change, mainly in the manner in which certain categories were either included or more specifically outlined in the budget? So I think if you have concerns about the questions, I would think that at this point it's pretty self-explanatory. I did not prepare anything other than what you have and the recommendation at this point from the committee, which is to adopt the working budget as presented.
Coming out of committee
It doesn't require a
doesn't
second.
require a second, so we just need to vote, but,
Yay. But-
thank you.
Yay, good thought.
We can still have.
Oh, yeah,
That.
I didn't update it.
All right, any further discussion? All right, then,
It's a working budget, awesome.
there we
We
go.
will vote on it. Let's see, we'll start over there with Vicky,
Yes.
Sharon,
Yes.
Crystal,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes,
and Jason.
Yes.
I mean, it works.
Right. Oh, it will work
It is
wonderfully.
a working budget.
I have no doubts. Item 5, policy revisions. Personnel policy,
Those start on,
127.
that is a big packet.
Do we have to
You have
approve
to-
the in-service
yeah.
bills?
In-service.
Oh, you skipped one.
I did?
In
Yes.
service.
I did, I just checked that right off.
We kind of.
Right, because we went over that issue. But in order to facilitate the meeting with our program
John Tresca.
with John Tresca, we need to close the library August 29th, that's Friday, 9 a.m. 28th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Questions?
I don't have any questions.
Move.
I move to, excellent, to close the library for 4 hours on the 28th of August for the in-service, so they can be trained by every library.
Seconded?
That's it,
Lovely, thank you. All in favor?
yeah.
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Now, item 5, policy revisions. Personnel policy 127, some changes. What do we fix?
And again, it's wording, and trying to clarify some of the things in regards to uninterrupted service, IMRF service with our library, in the qualifying for vacation time, how the calculations are done, trying to better explain the prorated hours, and let's see. Yeah, changing from computed to calculated.
Okay.
Now, does the IMRF specifically also have this kind of a proposal or within their plan? Because we are including IMRF service per se, but I wondered whether the IMRF has certain,
No, this deals only with our,
only with
how,
ours.
how they qualify for vacation time with our library, and it's uninterrupted IMRF service. So what that's saying is they have to be in more than a half-time position for more than 5 years before they can move up to the next level of vacation allowance.
So although we're adding IMRF, it is not their guideline, it is ours in
No,
order to.
that is the kind of service that, we're seeking to clarify for those who are moving up in the number of hours they are actually working, at what level, at what time they would qualify for the next level as a newer full-time member, because we do have different sets of vacation allowance. It goes by whether you're a full-time or a part-time employee, and by your years of service. And so this is in the cases that someone was a part-time employee, moved to full-time employment, and is now at the years of service to make it to the next level. It doesn't have to be all full-time work, it's in an IMRF qualified,
IMRF qualified.
uninterrupted service. We have too many levels, that's what it comes down to,
Clearly.
and too many people like move around up and down in the IMRF thing.
I have one correction, just grammar. which is under sick leave, the second line, it says, part-time employees receives, no, it would be received now, since we changed from singular to a plural subject, we need to have it
Oh, yeah.
agree in the verb tense.
Yes, that would be. All right, any other questions? I would ask for a motion to accept.
I move we accept the changes as corrected in the personnel policy.
Do we have a second?
Second.
And this is voice vote, yes. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Carries. Thank you. Now, item 6. Review, which we tabled from last meeting, be serving our public on technology.
That was gonna be in August.
This is,
Instructors.
well, put this one off or keep it. This, the Illinois Public Library per capita grants application annually requires that the board actually review and discuss certain chapters of the Illinois Library Standards. This year it is Chapter 5, Technology. So, here we are discussing Chapter 5.
Here we are.
Technology.
Appropriate as we're buying new computers.
Exactly. In each chapter, they have applicable core standards as well as technology standards for the libraries. So in each one, there are several different levels. One of the things that they do in their technology standards is they talk about things like, they actually list out some of the equipment that we're supposed to have. A telephone with a listing in the phone book, I think, is going to go in the next iteration of these
Lots of fun.
standards, because almost no one uses a phone book anymore. But it does say that telephone with voicemail or answering machine. Some of these are interestingly dated. Fax or
However, there are
scanner.
people who also are at that stage in their lives where they are doing it.
Exactly.
So we may have to keep it up.
But it's got all the different ways to contact the library, etc. The evaluation of our internet connectivity on a regular basis is one of the things that is in the standards, and you may recall that it was just over a year ago that we made some pretty substantive changes in the way that we are connecting to the internet and have gone to a two pipeline model into the library for stability, but changed providers in order to realize some fairly significant cost savings. The Illinois Century Network had become very cost prohibitive, and we were able to use a combination of two different commercial vendors and save quite a bit of money. Additionally, the acceptable use policy for internet and computer use is another thing that is contained within the standards. One of the things that is most interesting to me is that the staff being trained to use and assist patrons in the use of electronic resources and materials is called out in the standards, and that is increasingly a core service for this library. Computer and technology instruction is a huge part of what we do every day. And our staff is always, they are excellent and always ready to help and to teach people new skills and troubleshoot. The regular maintenance and upgrade of computers, having a technology plan, these are all part of the Illinois Library Standards.
Part of which we'll discuss next month is our strategic plan.
Does anybody else have any comments, questions, anything?
For technology standards, question for Part 3, the library provides a sufficient number of patron accessible workstations and devices on a per capita basis. Are we capable of doing that at our library? With the
Well,
current space and computers that we have?
their definition of that is a wait time that does not exceed 30 minutes. At this point, we have never gotten to a point where our wait time generally exceeds 30 minutes. However, what we are finding, and again, a standard that I think is going to become more prevalent, is the amount of Wi-Fi use, because we are increasingly providing access rather than devices. And it's bring your own device, and our bandwidth is what we need to focus on, as opposed to actual physical computers. It's a changing world out there, and bandwidth is going to be key for us, and being able to provide a stable Wi-Fi in all areas of the library with good signal. That's something that we struggle with in this building, and something that we will have to keep in mind in a future building, that it have good Wi-Fi signal wherever you are.
Especially in the basement.
Especially in the basement, where you currently don't get good Wi-Fi or cell phone signal.
Right. I have trouble doing that in my house.
Booster.
Yeah.
Maybe to tell you about
Yeah.
for a booster.
For number 10, do we have a board adopted internet acceptable use policy?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And that,
Every time somebody gets on a computer, they have to check
Click
what they
through
agree
it.
to.
And we do review it occasionally. I think we reviewed it after Orland last year. Didn't we
Yes.
just take
Yes,
a look at
we
it to make
did.
sure that we were still
Yeah.
comfortable?
Eric acknowledges everybody did. It's a thing. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
they-
yes, yeah, we do take a look at that every once in a while.
Right.
And interestingly, some of the biggest challenges that we have tend to be more of people using other people's cards to get on, as opposed to looking at anything that would be in violation of an
Really?
internet use policy. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that.
So,
Hmm.
it's-
Wow. All right then.
Anybody else? I have one more for 13. The library develops and updates at a regular interval a long-range strategic plan. Do we have one of those currently? Is that part of this? That's PC purchasing, and we have something set up for not just PC purchasing, but
Yeah,
improving
we
the bandwidth,
really
that
need
kind of
an
stuff?
overall update to our technology plan, but that's one of those that, as we're moving into this expansion planning process, it,
might
Yeah.
slip into the
Yeah.
expansion process
is
as
part of
planning
that.
the building.
exactly, and as we change what kinds of devices and what kinds of access that we offer, that will have huge implications for our technology plan.
Well, and we may want to peruse through items from 14 as we look forward in our building plan and see where we can dovetail some of those. I'm seeing the, self-checkout functionality may change from what we have now, so some opportunities to maybe leverage some of those a little bit better.
And our goals in an expanded building would far exceed what we can realistically do as goals, particularly for technology instruction
one.
in this physical
Mhm.
location.
And then we're all up to date with all the ADA stuff on this one, the compliant website that's updated at least monthly, and the telephone access for deaf hearing patrons. All right.
And Lisa is always looking at our website and making sure that not only are we ADA compliant, and we're mobile friendly, all of the different things that one has to think about when putting together a website in a multi-device universe.
Yeah.
All right. Do you all feel more technologically trained and entertained?
All right,
As long as Sharon knows about road closures.
There we
That's
go.
the important
Then
thing.
we're good.
That's the important thing.
All right, well, at this point
Whatever
then,
that was.
I would like to entertain a motion to move to executive session for some discussion.